Okay. Well, can I say, gentlemen of the press, you are welcome at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. Today, we are pleased to inform the public on the day-to-day activities of the Liberia National Police. To get to the issue, you may have heard from the public that 3 officers of the Armed Forces of Liberia are being arrested for alleged armed robbery. And to speak to that, the police spokesman, Honorable H. Moses Carter Sr., will give you detail on those issues. You are highly welcome.
So, guys, let me say thank you again for coming to get information on happenings. It's always our business to make sure that you are proactively communicated to, specifically to the public through you, of happenings here at the level of the Liberia National Police. This morning, Facebook, was inundated with a lot of, reports of some officers of the Armed Forces of Liberia being involved with, armed robbery. And so it is important for us to be able to provide you a perspective of the status of the investigation, where are we, so that the public understands what's going on. And that is exactly why you guys have come to be briefed about the status of our investigation. So the officers are 3 in numbers and 1 civilian, totaling 4 persons who are currently here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police and are being investigated. You might want to know, why are they here? Like I said initially, they were alleged of being involved with, armed robbery. From the accounts of the officers, they were driving through Old Road, specifically around Kailundu, when they came across a checkpoint that was set up there. And when they disembarked from their vehicle, those who set the checkpoint went running, seeing them as army personnel. They went running, and they, according to them, they took them to be, criminals. And so they went after them, but they did not succeed in arresting any of them. And so they came back, according to them, the army personnel, they came back and got into their vehicle and went by way of Dupo Road. So while going by way of Dupo Road, they were intercepted by the police, having heard that, of the outcry that some citizens were, harassed by them. The police intercepted them and had them arrested and took them to the Zone 5 police station that is in Pinsville. And subsequently they were transferred at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, where they are currently undergoing a joint investigation with the Armed Forces of Liberia Military Police and that of the Police Investigative Team. And our interest, when I mean our interest, the interest of the Joint Investigative Team comprising the AFL and that of the police is basically to establish facts surrounding the claims of the alleged armed robbery hanging over these, young men. And so we can only urge the public to remain very calm as we do everything possible in as soon as possible time to do this investigation jointly and report back to the public on the facts. But while we do that, it's also important that we set aside the issue of sentiments, because our work is outside of sentiments. We try for facts and not sentiments. It's easy to raise an allegation, it's another thing to prove that allegation. And so we also have with us some complainants who claim that these officers harassed them last night. They are also here and they're cooperating with our investigation. We can only assure the public that the truth will be unearthed and the public will be duly informed, and if for any reason these officers are culpable of said allegation, they will be made to face the full weight of the law. If not, the law will take its course. And so we urge the public to remain very calm as the investigation is being conducted jointly by the Armed Forces of Liberia Investigative Team and that of the Liberia National Police.
So were you fortunate to have seen those armed forces fighting personnel who were allegedly accused? Were you fortunate to see them?
Oh yes, they are currently here, and after here perhaps I may have some of you to see.
So
they were fully attired in their uniform. All three of them were fully attired in their uniform with their names, you know, and that of their ranks and everything. So after, like I said, after here, I will allow you guys to see.
Okay, so let me ask this question. The individuals or the surveillance who you have said accuse these AFL personnel, were you able to authenticate as to which activity they were involved in the AFL guys being to actually interrupt their activities, or how did it actually happen? Secondly, is there any means that the AFL guys are also involved into helping in terms of the night patrol? So maybe that could have also led to their involvement in some of these activities.
Well, you know, the military is involved with, you know, keeping peace and ensuring that where necessary, and I'm saying where necessary, they can come in to assist, you know, with upon call. I mean, that's what I said, where necessary. They can come and assist, you know, the police, Liberia National Police, or even say the joint security. As being being army personnel, it doesn't take in that responsibility from them in terms of wherever there's an ongoing conflict, they have the right to ensure that they can, buttress the efforts of the police. But in these sort of situations, it's like they are aware that even when they intervene in said situations, they will have to do along with the Liberia National Police. It's a kind of joint effort, right? And then you talk about the young people where they were, like I said, in their own statements, they were, right at the Kailondo when they saw these folks, they were being chased, harassed by them, and they made away with their personal effect. And one of them claimed that his phone was taken away from him, by these officers. Yeah, and so they are being investigated. Like I said, our interest to ensure that the truth is established and that justice is served.
Okay, Michael.
Yeah, Mr. Pato, thank you so much for this update. My concern has to do with the incident at Bambakle yesterday evening concerning police officer allegedly murder in Water Sabonis.
Allegedly murder.
Yes.
Okay, so let me correct you. The incident that occurred was not as a result of murder. The incident that occurred was as the result of an accident, motor accident. There are claims and counterclaims. And one account has it that the officer was trying to carry out enforcement at the Mount Barclay, checkpoint. That is going the Monrovia Kagata Highway. And while that enforcement was going, there was this, operator who was, flying a vehicle that was not roadworthy. And so, an attempt to have had him, the vehicle impounded, according to the officer's account, he pulled up with the vehicle and then thereby coming into contact with a motorcyclist. The motorcyclist was hit, and he was rushed to a nearby, clinic. He died, pronounced dead, and then he was taken to the mortuary. And then another person got also injured, and the person is also undergoing treatment. So the other account is that the officer and this operator were tussling over the, steering, thereby losing control and, going to hit, the motorcyclist and the other person that's injured. Whatever the case is, it's an accident investigation. Our accident team is currently investigating the matter. And I should say to you, all of you, those of you viewing us and that of you members of the press, that currently we have the family of the deceased victim at headquarters. We're trying to provide them surety, of an impartial investigation and making sure that justice will be served in this process.
So how was the incident like? Because I saw on your page,
yes,
you were warning citizens, especially those flying.
So we have actually developed a new methodology of communicating right now, because we observed that there are some citizens who are unaware of things that are happening in certain areas and they get trapped into those things. So what we intend to now do going forward, if there is a protest going on anywhere, we will put an alert on our page so that it makes citizens to know that even as you'll be traveling where the incident is happening, you will do it courteously, so that you are not caught, in a fire. All right? So we put out an alert yesterday, cautioning our citizens who were traveling on the Monrovia-Karata Highway to be very careful, of the traveling, that there is a protest that's ongoing, and as a result of an accident, motor accident, and that one person had, died, and the other person was undergoing treatment, and that the motorcyclist had set up roadblocks, and they had ransacked our police station, the Mambaki police station. It was important for us to inform the public on these things. Why an active investigation was launched yesterday, and it continues today. Like I just provided a briefing that the family is also here, and the officers in question are also here undergoing investigation. And our interest is to make sure that, culpability is established and that justice is served the family.
Okay, so back to the issue of the AFL officers.
Yeah, I just want to do a follow-up question. Normally, the Liberia National Police will always get affected in terms of some of these issues. When there's an accident, especially where a private citizen committed an act and the police gets involved. They are the ones that normally get affected by forces from the community builders. What mechanisms has the Liberia National Police put into place to see how that sometimes if the police is getting involved into an incident of such, the citizens will also be able to understand that it is the police role to intervene into such a situation?
Well, thank you so much. It's a very, very beautiful question. I should let you know that we're working with the folks from the UN Commission on Human Rights, because sometimes as a result of police, response to certain situations, it is sometimes told that of police brutality, that the police use excessive force and all of that. So we have spoken to them to see reason to bring the police face to face with the citizens. The citizens must understand that they too have responsibilities, as well as the police having responsibilities. Like the saying goes, if you tell the cat not to eat the fish, tell the fish not to smell. What I'm saying in essence is, our job basically is to protect lives and property. But not only protecting lives and property, but to also ensure public order. And public order will mean the Constitution provides for freedom of assembly, and the Constitution also provides for freedom of movement. And those two fundamental rights must be respected by everyone. Your right to peaceful assembly should not hinder another person's right to freedom of movement. When that happens, in the exercise of your freedom of assembly, you could be breaching another person's freedom of movement. That is where the police usually comes in. For example, we have a situation where the road that we use is not just for one group of people. The road that we use is for everyone. So if you have issues, for example, in your community, and you come on a road that is for public use, that is used by thousands and thousands of people, and you blocked it, and say, no one is going to pass because you have an issue. That is where we come in, and we usually do not start with tear gassing our citizens. We start with constructive engagement. But if all efforts of constructive engagements fail, then the last resort is to use non-lethal approach. What is non-lethal approach? That is the use of the tear gas, the water cannon, and other means to make sure that citizens comply with lawful instructions. And sometimes when we do that, it is interpreted like the police is using excessive force. All right? But our job, the use of tear gas is not excessive force. Tear gas is a non-lethal instrument that is used to disperse crowd, especially a group of people that have refused to follow lawful instructions. Once you refuse to disperse, we will have no option but to use tear gas. And this is something that we want to urge our citizens. As much as we want to have a cordial relationship with the citizenry and residents, citizens must also understand that when they have issues, especially legitimate issues, there should be other approaches. We have lawmakers who are representing the interests of their constituencies. When citizens have issues, why not they write the lawmaker and bring this to the attention of the lawmaker, and the lawmaker puts it to the floor of the legislature, and if it is an LEC issue, the managing director of the LEC will be invited to show cause why the people of Jalatan community do not have transformer. I think if we approach issues constructively that way, it will mitigate the whole issue of police coming into conflict with citizens, or citizens coming into conflict with the police. It's a perfect opportunity for us to meet face to face, and we are hopeful very soon to have that kind of conversation with the citizens. That look, we need you, you need us. When something happens, it's important that you follow lawful instruction. Failure to follow lawful instruction is a crime. And we appreciate that citizens will continue to observe the respect law enforcement officers and not disrespect them.
So back to the issue of the AFL officers, excluding the confiscation of phone of one of the dwellers from in a specific area, were there other evidences provided to authenticate the crime level against the officers?
So for now, we only have the phone, as one of the things that the FOC, that was taken, and so the phone is currently here at headquarters with us. And I must say to you, we're looking in, like I said, it's a kind of investigation that we have to be very meticulous in conducting, because we want the truth and nothing but the truth.
So how soon do we expect it?
How soon, and it's a very good question you ask, because usually you members of the press will ask how soon, because you want the public to be informed in time. So I can answer you by saying very soon, because like I said, it's a joint investigative efforts from the Armed Forces of Liberia angle, jointly with that of the Liberia National Police. Very soon.
Thank you, Mr. Tava. But can you please tell us the name of those individuals
So as of now, we're trying to profile them. So once we do that, then obviously you guys will get to know the names and their ranks. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The recent report from Naval.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. All right. So what do you have to say about the recent report from Naval? I mean,
I'm smiling now. You're asking me that question. I'm smiling And
there
some
has been this
misreaction.
great misreaction
Okay.
from citizens.
I have followed
that-
some of those
that,
misreactions.
Some citizens will say the Liberia National Police are not actually doing their work, and recent report from NEMO has indicated that you are one of those security apparatus in the country that is actually functioning well.
Right. So you are right. There have been some mixed reactions. Even if you look at some of the live videos you guys carry, there are still mixed reactions on some of the live videos. But guess what? That is the beauty of life. The beauty of life is everyone will not love you. No matter you can do the best, everyone will not love you. Do not strive for everyone to love you. Strive to do the best thing. Strive to work with your conscience. Strive to serve very well. In 2019, this very Nimot did a survey. This same survey was conducted in 2019, and the police scored 51%. We saw it as a challenge to us and began working on improving community policing. We improved our efforts in community policing, and today our rating is 71%, 2021. That is a boost for us. It does not in any way make us to be complacent. The fact that we have 71%, okay, let's go and sit down. It motivates us to do more. We feel very impressed by the citizens, rating of the police. This was not done by, people who were handpicked. It's a kind of random sampling that was conducted that has brought us to scoring 71%. We remain very much focused in improving on that score and serving our citizens very well, especially as it relates to community policing. Right now, in modern policing, it's basically community policing. Community policing is like we say, prevention is better than cure. So everywhere around the world, police administrations now are focusing more on community policing because that way it helps to prevent a lot of chaos, a lot of happenings that we could run after that could put us into further problems with the citizens. So we are now focusing more on community policing as well as improving our rating. We want to go beyond 71. We want to hit 100. Because we can't go beyond 100. We want to hit 100. But when we hit 100, we want to be glaring. We want to be written on the walls. That yes, the police has totally transformed into a citizen's police. And this administration has prioritized community policing. Under the leadership of Patrick Sudu, community policing is one of our strengths. And we're very committed to enhancing and strengthening our community policing relations.
Do you expect the public to welcome this report, considering experience from police brutality, murder by police? Do you expect the public to welcome this report?
Let me let you know something. The public will only have a problem with the police in such happenings if the police does not take appropriate actions when these things happen. That is where the public will have a problem with. I've read some of the comments, even on our social media page, when we posted this, report. People were like, "Oh, the police engaging into mob violence and not mob violence, but tear gassing citizens and all of that." And I could understand some of those who were raising those issues were raising it from their own vantage points. But come and think about it. This police administration has taken stringent actions against officers that go out of the core of duty. For example, when our officer was involved with a situation in 72nd, where that female died, you saw what we did. We visited the family. We took appropriate action against the officer. Today, the officer is remanded at South Beach, Monroe Central Prison. Roosevelt Demi, our commander for Total Base, when he was involved with that scuffle with the motorcyclists, which led to the death of the motorcyclists, we took appropriate actions. Today, Roosevelt Demi is at the Monroe Central Prison. In Nimba, Sensi Cole, one of our, deputy commanders in Nimba was involved in another mosque scuffle that led to the death of a citizen. What did we do? We took appropriate action today. Sesiko is remanded. What matters most is the police administration taking actions against officers that will perform beyond the call of duty. When you do that, when you go out of the call of duty, it is our responsibility to make sure that you do not go with impunity. Honorable Sudu has kept his feet down in ensuring that police misconduct does not go unchecked. That is why some citizens have rated us as very effective in the confidence that they repose in us. And we are not complacent with that. We remain very focused in ensuring that we can build on that confidence.
Thank you.
Thank you.